Thank you very much, Chair. And I want to thank you all for coming to the session. And a special welcome to my commissioners from Malawi, National Health Commission, all colleagues and friends. I'll try to be very brief. That will be my outline. But maybe after conclusion, I also try to present the way forward, what I'm going to do next. So I thought that maybe I should include that in the presentation. Well, I think this is what we have all been talking about, that just like a number of other countries in the continent, Malawi has also seen a decline in both prevalence and incidence of HIV. And quite remarkably so. You notice that we are one of the countries that recorded close to over 70% decline in incidence. So part of this historical mapping was to collect information on some of the HIV prevention programs that would complement the HIV incidence modeling that our colleagues at the Imperial College of London are still working on, and probably determine which specific HIV programs actually contributed to the decline in HIV incidence. The methodology for the study basically was a desk review where we reviewed policies, strategies, plans, and reports. We also had some key informant interviews to get expert opinion, and these findings were actually triangulated with the desk review just to see whether there was consistency in terms of what was coming out vis-a-vis HIV prevalence and incidence in Malawi. So in terms of findings, we looked at the first area, which was policy, leadership, and programming milestones. We noticed that over the past years, we have looked at the environment in which we deliver HIV interventions, including political will, the establishment of the National Health Commission to coordinate a multi-sectoral response to HIV/AIDS, which actually replaced the National Health Control Program, which was in the Ministry of Health and was mainly responding to HIV as a health issue. Again, in the last few years, a number of key strategic documents have been developed, and these included the National Strategic Plan, the HIV policy, the HIV prevention strategy, condom strategy, the HIV testing and counseling scale-up plan, as well as the ART scale-up plans. In terms of coverage and potential effect of behavior change programs, we saw that awareness actually increased. Until in 2010, it was almost universal. Comprehensive knowledge also almost doubled from 22.4% in 2004 to 41% in 2010. And again, other modeling exercises before, like the one in 2011 by Bell et al., reported also a decline in HIV prevalence due to sexual behavior. But again, the number of men with multiple sexual partners, which is one of the major drivers of HIV infection in Malawi, actually also declined from 11.8% in 2004 to 9.2% in 2010, according to the Malawi Demographic and Health Service. We also registered an increase in the HIV testing and counseling uptake. And again, this is another marker of behavior change impact. You have seen that there's been a steady increase in the number of people who are accessing HIV testing and counseling services on an annual basis, starting from just over 200,000 in 2003 and 4 to almost 2.1 million in 2012 alone. Again, we have seen an increase in the number of sites offering antiretroviral therapy from as low as 9 in 2003 and 4 to 641 by September 2012. So again, a very big increase in the number of sites offering antiretroviral therapy. With respect to ART, we have also seen that there's been a steady increase in the number of people being initiated on the ART, as well as those who are retained alive on ART, from as little as 4,000 in 2003 to over 1 million or 500,000 in 2012. And this is important because part of this is also the intervention where all HIV positive pregnant women are started on ART irrespective of their CD4 count. So this has also significantly reduced the number of children who are born with HIV. So this has also contributed to the decline in the HIV incidence in Malawi. Again, condom use for higher risk sex has also increased from 35% to over 60% between 2000 and 2010. And another important determinant of HIV transmission is the STIs. And again, from this slide, you can see that also there has been a significant decline in the prevalence of STIs in Malawi. So this is also another area where we think this is one of the interventions that we think contributed to the decline in HIV incidence and prevalence. In terms of conclusions, I think we can conclude that there has been a number of factors that has contributed to the decline in HIV incidence in Malawi, and of course, these include a better coordination of the national response, as shown by the availability of institutions and strategic documents that guide interventions, increased uptake of ART services, especially, as I said, where it is also used for prevention of mother-child transmission. Again, increased uptake of HIV testing and counseling and condom use. Evidence of reduced stigma leading to increased uptake of services. And as I showed in the last slide, the overall decline in STI prevalence. Now, going forward, we want to present the modeling results in the context of the findings of this mapping exercise. Again, we want to discuss the results of the modeling exercise with various stakeholders in the national response. And again, we want to use the results of the modeling exercise to reinvigorate prevention interventions, especially at this point in time where we're in the process of reviewing our prevention strategy, but also to make sure that the results inform decision makers. So I want to communicate the results of the modeling exercise to policy makers and decision makers, including our traditional leaders, members of parliament, politicians, high-ranking government officials, and our partners, to make sure that at least the results of the modeling exercise are put into decision-making. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Thomas. We have time for one question. Yes, please give your name and...
Thanks very much. Peter Godfrey Fawcett from UNAIDS. Very nice presentation. I was interested in your declining syphilis rates in your antenatal mothers.